I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Matt Duchesne of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Justus Aros of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Ryan Johansson of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and Captain Crazy Charlie Saunier. And before we get into the no half step in hockey coverage, let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you'll learn everything you need to know about the Renegades of Puck. And once you've done that, you can click on that merchandise tab, and that's where you'll find our classic logo t-shirt, our Pride logo t-shirt, all of our special event t-shirts. I believe we have 7 total now available in our online store, plus all of the famous gimmicks that you know you love. Socks, throw pillows, wall art. It does not make a difference to the Renegades of Puck. If there is an item out there, we've put our logo on it, or easier said, we've sold out so that you can buy in. Please support this operation by going to social media, and there is a myriad of options for you. Doesn't take you but a second, doesn't cost you anything. Sure goes a long way to helping an operation like this as independents succeed out there in the digital realm. You can follow us on all of the different social media platforms, as you can see right there on the screen. Twitter, Facebook, we are on TikTok, and we are also on Instagram. You can check out the video version of the show right there on YouTube. The audio version of the show is available in a myriad of places: Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and various other locations. You can't go anywhere without finding the Renegades of Puck, so please search us on your favorite platform, and please click on the Renegades of Puck podcast. You can also support the show and become a sponsor of the show and partner of the show by going to Venmo. Just search Renegades of Puck or scan the QR code that's currently on your screen. Thanks to generous donations by renegades just like you, we've been able to upgrade all of our equipment here in the bunker for Season 2, our camera, our microphone, our lighting, and everything else. It is making the operation much better each and every day. And again, stick taps, love, and respect. That is thanks to great donations by renegades just like you. Now, it's time to deliver the goods, so it's time for the no half step in hockey coverage. It's operation number 674 for the Renegades of Puck. That's right, show number 674. And on this date in hockey history, the Winnipeg Jets are number 1 overall in the Central Division with 19 points, followed up by the Colorado Avalanche, and then the Minnesota Wild, Chicago Blackhawks, Arizona Coyotes, and then you'll find the Nashville Predators all the way down in 7th place in the Central Division. After 15 games played, they hold a record of 6-8-1. They have 13 points. They are 6 points behind first place Winnipeg and also Dallas. And they have a home record of 3-3-1. That's where their next game will take place. And that will take place against division rival Minnesota. The Minnesota Wild sitting in 4th place in the Central Division. They've also played 15 games. And after last night's action, they hold a record of 7-6-2. 16 points has them 3 points ahead of the Nashville Predators at this time. On the road, the Minnesota Wild have an impressive 5-2-1 record at this time. A goal differential of -3, 42 goals for, 45 goals against. The Nashville Predators have scored 40, have given up 51 for a goal differential of -11. This will be the first meeting of the season between these two Central Division rivals. The next meeting will take place on February the 19th when the Nashville Predators will be in Minnesota. And then all the way at the end of the season, April 13th, the Nashville Predators will welcome the Minnesota Wild back into Bridgestone Arena. I am quite sure those 2 points in that 60 minutes of hockey will be quite pivotal when it comes to the playoff race. For the Nashville Predators, after a lengthy road trip, now a little bit of time at home. After this game Thursday, they'll face off against the New York Islanders. Saturday, the Tampa Bay Lightning are at Bridgestone Arena. And on the 21st of November, the Arizona Coyotes make their first visit to Nashville this season. 11:23, the Nashville Predators will be in Detroit, and then immediately back home on the 25th to face off against the Colorado Avalanche. Taking a look inside the numbers and the rankings for the Nashville Predators, 2.60, 30th in the NHL in goals for, while the Minnesota Wild 2.73 goals per game is 24th overall in the NHL. Bottom third metrics for both of these teams. Goals against, the Preds are giving up 3.33 per game. That's 21st in the league, while the Minnesota Wild are giving up 2.93 per game. That is 13th in the NHL. Shots for Preds are at 25th, giving up 29.4 per game, while Minnesota is 15th in the NHL, taking 31.7 shots on goal. Shots against, Minnesota is 14th, while the Nashville Predators are at 20th, giving up 32.6 per game. Special teams matchup, power play for the Nashville Predators, not going great so far this season. 30th overall in the NHL, converting at 14.6% or 8 out of 55 opportunities. For the Minnesota Wild, their power play is converting at 24%. That is ninth best overall in the NHL. 12 power play goals in 50 opportunities. The Minnesota Wild penalty kill equally as good, 10th overall in the NHL. 81.6% kill rate this season, 9 power play goals against. The Preds have given up 10 power play goals against them this season. They are killing off 81.8%, and they are ahead of Minnesota in this metric at 9th overall. Looking forward to watching this game. The Minnesota Wild in their most recent action. I can catch you up on that. On the 3rd of November, it was a 4-0 loss versus the Seattle Kraken. On the 8th of November, it was a 1-0 loss at the LA Kings. And then on the 9th, a 4-1 win at Anaheim. Followed that up on the 11th with a 1-0 win at the Seattle Kraken, and their most recent game, a 3-2 shootout loss versus the San Jose Sharks. They gave up a 2-goal lead in the final 6 minutes before falling in the shootout to San Jose. Gustafsson, 35 out of 37, took the loss in the shootout in this game for Minnesota. That leads us to the stats category, so let's just go ahead and keep on going down the Minnesota Wild side of the category. Kaprizov, after last night's action, 10 goals and 7 assists for 17 points on the season. He leads the Minnesota Wild in goals and total points. Matt Zuccarello leads the Minnesota Wild in assists. He also had 6 goals to his 9 assists for 15 total points. Boldy at 6 and 5 for 11. Eriksson Ek at 4 and 6 for 10, and he usually plays very strong games against the Nashville Predators. Addison, 8 assists on the season for 8 total points. Marc-Andre Fleury in net, 6-3-1, a .905 save percentage, a 2.87 goals against average. For the Nashville Predators on the stats side of the category, Forsberg leads the team in total points, 5 goals and 10 assists for 15 points. That's right, 15 games, 15 points. He's averaging a point per game so far this season. Mikhail Granlund's at 1 goal and 11 assists for 12 points. He leads the team in assists with 11. Matt Duchene's at 3 goals and 8 assists for 11 points. Roman Josi at 3 and 6 for 9. Nino Niederreiter leads the team in goals scored with 6. He also has 2 assists, add to that for 8 total points. UC Saros starting to see his numbers correct just a little bit, but still really tough on the goals against side. Record now of 4-6-1, a .901 save percentage, and a 3.22 goals against average. If he can get the first period and really the first 5-6 minutes of the first period under wraps, then UC Saros will start to see these numbers come fully correct. Couple of notes for the Nashville Predators. Yakov Trenin is listed as day-to-day on the injury report, and of course, Mark Borowiecki is out on long-term injured reserve at this time. That gets you all set up for the Nashville Predators' next game against the Minnesota Wild. It's good to see the Nashville Predators back in Nashville on home ice at Bridgestone Arena. We'll have it all covered right here on Renegades of Puck. Podcast in audio and video form available to you every game. Rebirth Sports. You can check out their work by going to rebirthsports.com. You've seen me wearing the home jersey, the road jersey, even the Renegades of Puck third jersey right here in the bunker. Renegades of Puck jerseys have been available and have been hot sellers for Rebirth Sports. So we sure to appreciate their partnership when it comes to helping us assist with all of that. Those jerseys will be delivered here in the coming weeks from the most recent batch. But back to Rebirth Sports. You can check out their work also on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. They're not just jersey makers, they're hockey tailors, and they can take your vision and make it a reality. They have done so for numerous hockey clubs here across the Middle Tennessee area and across the entire hockey landscape. Please make sure you check out their work. They're really creating some beautiful threads. Rebirth Sports, great partners, great people, and that's why we love being in partnership with them. Now it's time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. So let's go all the way back to November the 12th of the year 2022 when the Nashville Predators were welcoming in the New York Rangers. John Hines has a radical redeployment of his lines, and they are as follows. Forsberg, Parson, and Granlund make up your first line. Smith, Jankowski, and Jeannot make up your second line. Niederreiter, Johansson, and Duchene make up your third line. Tolvanen, Sissons, and McCarron will be the fourth line in this game. Your defensive pairings are Josi and Fabro, Ekholm and Carrier, McDonough and Luzon. UC Saros, of course, gets the start in net. We're only 37 seconds into the game, and UC Saros already has come up with a huge save on Capo Caco, the first shot of the game against the Nashville Predators, and the first shot on goal of the game, period. 56 seconds into the game, Saros comes up with another save, this time on Goudreau, 1:23 into the first period. Reeves is off to the box, 2 minutes for slashing. Parson stopped by Halak, first shot on goal for the Nashville Predators, and Parson already making a difference in this game, and at 4:58, he's making an impact. His first goal of the season as he builds the wall, gains position, and finishes far side with a slick finish to indicate that he's done this before, and it looks like he'll be doing this more in the NHL. Parsons' first goal of the season, first goal in the NHL, gives the Nashville Predators a 1-0 lead over the New York Rangers. 6:51 of the first period. Smith is off to the box, 2 minutes for hooking. UC Saros has to come up with a huge save on Mika Zibanejad's tip at close range. UC Saros then has to come up with another big save on Filipino. 11:46 of the first period. Saros comes up with a save on Chris Kreider at close range. 11:57, Forsberg gets behind the D for a good scoring opportunity. 13:52, Cock goes off to the box. 2 minutes for tripping. You'll see Halak come up with a big save on Parsonen at close range. So again, Parsonen making a huge impact in his first period with the Nashville Predators. 16:18 of the first period. McDonough's off to the box. 2 minutes for tripping. A strong PK by the Nashville Predators. We hit the end of the first period. The Rangers are out shooting the Predators 11-4, but the Predators do have a 1-goal lead. Clean sheet into the second period, 1:21 in. Saros is coming up with a save on Trouba, plus the rebound by Mika Zibanejad, crashing the net hard. 2:49 in. Ekholm, 2 minutes for holding. McCarron comes up with an outstanding penalty kill shift, single-handedly killing off about 25 seconds by putting the puck up against the wall and not allowing anyone to take it away. 5:08 of the second period. Bench Meyer to the New York Rangers for too many men on the ice. Nothing of note for the Nashville Predators, but 2 minutes to expire. 8:37 of the second period, though, for the Nashville Predators. Here's a positive result. Jankowski's second goal of the season. Second goal as a Nashville Predator. Yossi fools 3 defenders into all following him and then makes a sick pass across the slot for an easy tap-in goal by Jankowski. 2-0 in favor of the Nashville Predators over the New York Rangers. And what we see at this point in time is that John Hines' radically redeployed lines are really starting to pay off. The top 2 centers, Parson and Jankowski, now have goals in the first half of this game. At 9:09 of the second period, UC Saros comes up with an incredible sequence here with assist by the New York Rangers. The puck stays out of the net somehow in an otherworldly sequence that honestly words defy and are too difficult to describe. I never thought I would say such a thing, but it happened. 9:09 of the second period, the puck stays out of the net. 9:41 of the second period, Lindgren and Johansson off the box. 2 minutes each for unsportsmanlike. Lindgren wanted to drop the gloves. Johansson smirked a little too much, and they both end up in the box. 11:08, UC Saros comes up with a huge save at 11:56. Philip Hedl, his 4th goal of the season, cuts the Nashville Predators in lead in half. Now 2-1 in favor of the Preds. Fox's feed from below the goal line to the slot was just simply perfection, just like the captain Roman Josi did for the Predators. Now Fox does for the New York Rangers, setting up a perfect goal. Hedl's 4th of the season. 12:03 of the second period. Lindgren and Luzon are off to the box, 5 minutes each. Luzon 6 or 7 straight rights on Lindgren. Lindgren came out of the box, and he clearly was still looking for someone to go with. Luzon was ready for that. 15:01 of the second, Saros comes up with a save on Lafreniere. Big scrum after the whistle, but calmer heads do prevail. 18:24 of the second period, UC Saros comes up with another save on Hedl. We hit the intermission, and the New York Rangers have a dramatic shot advantage in this game. 27-11 after 2 periods, but the Nashville Predators do hold a 1-goal lead. 11 seconds into the third period, UC Saros comes up with a save on VC's backhand. 2:26 of the third period, Hayek's off to the box, 2 minutes for hooking. Halak comes up with a save on Granlund's redirect. 5:04, Halak comes up with a save on Luzon from the high slot. 9:36, Halak back to work again. Another save on Carrier, keeping the Rangers in this game. Shots on goal in the third period. Nashville 4, the New York Rangers only 2 after 11 minutes. Nashville Predators controlling the play for the first 11 minutes. 12:31 of the third period, Matt Duchene is stopped by Halak off the rush. 13:05, Halak comes up with a save off of McCarron. At 13:41, we see a heavyweight tilt and a classic at Bridgestone Arena. Tanner Jeannot versus Ryan Reeves, and this fight went on for a significant amount of time. It ends in a draw, and I'm telling you right now, we need a rematch in this situation. It was a classic bout for 2 NHL heavyweights, and nobody really likes to step up to Ryan Reeves. Tanner Jeannot had absolutely no problems. I look forward to these two and round 2 coming up at Madison Square Garden later this season. Luzon also got called for a high sticking penalty as the whistle blew. 4 minutes overall. UC Saros has come up with a huge save on Panarin, and then UC Saros has come up with another save on Panarin. And then what you would see is absolute sacrifice by the Nashville Predators and their D-core. Numerous blocked shots and body sacrifice as the Nashville Predators find a way to fight through the New York Rangers power play, and they're able to kill off all 4 minutes. With the extra attacker at 1953, UC Stars comes up with one last big save on Trocheck, and the Nashville Predators are able to hold off the attack in the final minutes by the New York Rangers, securing the victory on home ice 2-1. Outshot 35-18 in this game by the New York Rangers. The New York Rangers absolutely put on a massive push in the final 6 minutes of this game to try to tie it up. I was highly surprised it didn't end up in overtime. Usually between these two teams, we see a lot of three-point games. Nashville Predators very much needed a big victory on home ice. As everyone knows, the season hasn't exactly been going perfectly to this point. Want to tell you about another great partner of the Renegades of Puck, Strong Style Fitness. You can check out their work at strongstylefit.com. Also on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, you can find Strong Style Fitness. Certified personal trainer that has devoted 150 workouts for you for free. Renegades of Puck posted it on YouTube, and you can get started on your fitness journey whenever you are ready. All on demand, all set to go. No matter your fitness level, no matter your skill level, no matter your awareness of fitness. If it's your first step off of the couch or you've been doing it for years like a pro, Tracy has a workout designed for you. I encourage each and every one of you. The world is an expensive place right now, and finding a good personal trainer that really cares about the work they're doing for you, well, that's exactly what we are offering for you. Through partnership with the Renegades of Puck, 150 workouts completely for free. I know the results are out there because I've seen the results and I've experienced the results for myself. Strong Style Fitness. UC Stars in this game, 34 out of 35, 1 goal against, strong in all areas, plus getting some support. You see how UC Stars can return to Vezina caliber when it comes to having support in front of him and not being hung out to dry as much as he was. I thought he was really strong, especially down the stretch in this game. The Nashville Predators were dramatically outshot, 35-18. So UC Stars definitely had a heavy workload in this game, and he was able to handle that workload. Good to see his save percentage up over 900 now. Let's see that number continue climbing throughout this homestand. Got to talk about Parsonen immediately. Gets called up from Milwaukee. He was having some great success with the Admirals this season. Rachel Kay and Kyle Perkins have been telling you about this player for quite some time. So make sure when you are checking out the Renegades of Puck, you are listening to the intel that is being provided for you, because you would have known that Parsonen, when given the opportunity, was going to come up to the Nashville Predators in the NHL level and perform at a very high level. Now, no one can predict having 1 goal, 2 shots on goal, and leading the team in time on ice at 17:49 in your first game in the NHL, but Parsonen was definitely showing the ability and skill set at the level below the NHL, and now he belongs in the NHL. First line center, first game, scores the first goal of the game. You can't talk enough about how this player performed in such a big moment of his career. I look forward to continuing to track this player. Got to watch him at development camp the last couple of seasons. He is a very, very good hockey player. Got to talk about Jankowski as well. Jankowski picks up a goal, his second as a Nashville Predator, picked up his first on the road trip. Former Calgary Flame certainly wants some redemption, wants another opportunity, and right now getting put on the second line is a great opportunity for him. We'll see how that continues to develop, but John Hines pulls on that string, and it works out perfectly for this game. And you have to point out that Jankowski, 5:09 of shorthanded time on ice, highly impressive effort right there. Also making a difference, blocking a shot in this game. So 17-14 in total time on ice, 5:09 shorthanded, and he's earning more chances. We're starting to hear less about identity and more about earning chances. Jankowski, Parsonen, they earned chances going into this next game. Talk about the defense. 17 blocked shots by the Nashville Predators defenders. Sacrifice on the PK in the final minutes. Already emphasized it once. Emphasize it again. To see each and every one of the Nashville Predators that were out there on those PK units just throwing their bodies with reckless abandon down in front of 80, 90, sometimes 100-mile-an-hour shots. Highly impressive stuff, and it's not what every single person or player or athlete is made out of. The Nashville Predators coming together in the final minutes of this game and throwing their bodies all over the ice in sacrifice for each other, for their team, for the home crowd, and for victory, and that's exactly what they achieve. These types of efforts, these types of small sample size moments, as you see a team starting to round a corner and you see a team starting to make improvements, those are the types of moments that win hockey games. That was winning hockey by the Nashville Predators defense. And you got to get up to John Hines. He continues exploring moves. We've had some hard-headed coaches here in Nashville behind the bench for the Nashville Predators that simply won't break up certain groupings, certain players, and they just won't make the changes when the changes are needed to be made. I know many of you out there are highly critical of the moves John Hynes made. I see your commentaries, and I also see that many of the times you're overreaching and, frankly, overreacting to the situation. There have been demotions. There have been promotions. There have been players in and out of the lineup. Players who are performing are going to get opportunities. I don't know why that is controversial in any way, shape, or form. John Hynes continues explaining each and every move that he makes, giving way more time than any other head coach in this organization, or frankly, from what I see around the league, any coach is willing to give to the media. When you read his answers, when you check all of his responses and you listen to his words, his moves make a lot of sense. He's not panicking, at least outwardly, early in the season. Some of you perhaps are. We're only 15 games in, and the Preds look like they may be starting to round a corner. Stripe Digital Solutions is another great partner of the Renegades of Puck, and I am so proud to be in partnership with Stripe Digital Solutions. Find them online, stripedigitalsolutions.com, or Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You see the crest on the wall behind me. Of course, you've seen the crest on the jersey, and you see all of our graphics, our website, everything involving our digital arena. Well, that was helped and made possible by Stripe Digital Solutions. We'd appreciate it if you would check out what Brandy is doing over there at Stripe Digital Solutions. An incredible digital artist. She knows exactly what needs to be done in this fast-paced world that involves so many different little nuances. You have to be on top of it, because no matter how much you're working, no matter how hard you're working, no one's going to be seeing it or hearing it or finding it unless you are having a good digital strategy backing you up. That's exactly where Stripe Digital Solutions comes in. Please check them out, stripedigitalsolutions.com. Got to go to Brian Baston from ontheforecheck.com. He's got the numbers you need to know, the charts you need to see, and he's been getting more and more airtime on the Nashville Predators television broadcast. So stick taps, love, and respect to everybody over at the Preds television broadcast for welcoming Brian in with open arms, as each and every one of you should. Brian is a great human being, and he is a strong, solid hockey analyst. Nobody knows the numbers better than Brian Baston.
Thanks a lot, Charlie. It's good to have you back in the trenches again. I am Brian Baston from ontheforecheck.com, and I am here to present you with your one big stat of the night. And as the theme may be for last night's game against the Rangers, of course we have to talk about the youth movement, the players that are called up from Milwaukee. Now, I say youth movement, and obviously one of these guys is not really, I wouldn't categorize him under youth, but let's talk about these guys that have come up from Milwaukee, specifically 4 of the forwards that have had some time in Milwaukee in the past couple of seasons. Juuso Parssinen, the hero of the game yesterday after his first call-up in his first NHL game, getting a goal, as well as Mark Jankowski, the other goal scorer, Cole Smith, and Tanner Jeannot, are all players that have spent significant time with Milwaukee since they've been in North America. Between the 4 of them, they combined for 170 games played for the Milwaukee Admirals, and that experience that they got with Admirals head coach Carl Taylor has made a difference, because Coach Taylor has put an emphasis on making sure that these players are NHL ready if the Predators need to call them up. And those players did come and deliver. Now, as much as can be said about Cole Smith's play lately, he is part of a line that did an incredible job yesterday. In fact, when that line of Mark Jankowski, Cole Smith, and Tanner Jeannot were on the ice, they had a 73% expected goal rate. Now, what that means is that 73% of all the shot quality generated while they were on the ice, including the other team, came while they were there. So that means that they had 73% as opposed to 27% for the New York Rangers, which means that was dominant play. They expect that line to be a shutdown line, and that's exactly what they did. And what made them more dangerous is that they were able to create offense as well with that group. Now, looking at all 4 of those players, including Juuso Parssinen, they had a pretty good night. They accounted for 5 shots on goal last night, both of the goals. None of the goals against were scored while those players were on the ice, and accounted for about 37% of all of Nashville's shot quality by expected goals last night. So again, we see that these players, these youthful players who come up and get put in positions to succeed, like Juuso Parssinen being on the line with Forsberg and Duchesne, makes a huge difference, because these players are young and talented, and you're not putting them just on the fourth line, although some of those players like Cole Smith can thrive in that sort of a role. But you guys like Juuso Parssinen, who have a ton of talent, if you put them with players and a chance to in a place where they can succeed, they will more often than not surprise you. And we saw that last night with the call-up of Juuso Parssinen, who I expect we may see in gold for a long time. And that's tonight's one big stat. Charlie?
From ontheforecheck.com, you can find him online on Twitter at Brian Baston. You can also check out his work at ontheforecheck.com. You can watch him right here on Renegades of Puck TV. He's got the numbers you need to know, the charts you need to see. When it comes to the analytics revolution, there's nobody I rely on more than Brian Baston. You know, we were out of town for a couple of shows there, and I'm sure you noticed, and I appreciate all the nice, kind messages while we were out of the bunker, out there on the front lines of the hockey landscape. Wanted to go on a discovery mission for myself, and I went down to Savannah, Georgia this past week. Got a chance to watch the Ghost Pirates, brand new ECHL team down there in Savannah. They've got a brand new rink, the End Market Arena, 6,000 plus people packed in there, going crazy. The ECHL has come to Savannah. It was a real great experience. Got to see the Nashville Predators' former ECHL affiliate, the Florida Everblades, in town. The Everblades did secure the victory in that game in overtime, 3-2, but it was a thrilling comeback by the Ghost Pirates, scoring a goal in the final 10 seconds with the goalie pulled, getting the tie, getting the crowd going wild, getting the cannons fired there in the rink, and getting everybody all ready for overtime. It was thrilling. It was fun. The energy was all over the place, and it's so great to be in a market where hockey is just starting to find its skates. The energy was there. The people were there. You can see the pictures that I took there. People lined up an hour before the doors even opened. The building was packed despite the absolutely brutal weather of the hurricane that was lashing the East Coast. The outer bands of it were causing massive downpours and significant winds. There was even question if the game was going to go on as scheduled, but the game did go on. The crowd showed up in force, and it was really fun to be in a brand new hockey market. The line for merch, about an hour long at the rink right there. Incredible, a lot of fun to see. As a matter of fact, I even filed a report while I was in Savannah watching the Ghost Pirates on the road. Here's me outside the End Market Arena post-game.
Crazy Charlie Saunier here for the Renegades of Puck. It might be stormy in Savannah, but the hockey is electric, and there is tons of energy here at End Market Arena. The Ghost Pirates fall in the 3-on-3 overtime on a breakaway goal. Outshot 48-32 at their home rink tonight, but the energy, it is impressive. It is amazing, and you've got to come and experience not just the Savannah weather, but Ghost Pirates hockey. It's a thing, and the haunt begins now.
Sure to appreciate all the hospitality from the Ghost Pirates and from everyone in Savannah. Got a chance to glad hand and meet a whole lot of incredible people down there in Savannah, including a day spending over at the Savannah Bananas baseball stadium, but that's for a whole different show. Pretty fun down there in that town. Really enjoyed my time. Got back into town and went straight over to the rink, the Gary Force Acura Ice Arena, Nolensville, Tennessee, Nashville Spartans, Atlanta Mad Hatters. 4 games over the weekend and an instant classic on Saturday night in the Premier Division. It was the Atlanta Mad Hatters defeating the Nashville Spartans 6-5, momentum swinging goals back and forth the entire night, 100 total shots on goal, and there was in fact a Mishi, Svechnikov, Forsberg, or whatever it is that you want to call for the Nashville Spartans. Highly impressive goal. The rink went absolutely wild. Here's that highlight right here, thanks to Colby Collier at the MD Media. He got the shot. Now you get to see it.
I almost had the
Also, just a couple of other highlights from over the weekend between the Nashville Spartans and the Atlanta Mad Hatters. Got the opportunity to be featured on the USPHL main website for a couple of highlight calls that I made in these games, including an overtime game-winning call, which was at the end of 12-plus periods of called hockey games in less than 24 hours, and you can absolutely hear my voice crack in that call, and it didn't only crack, that was the end of my voice for several hours after that. A lot of fun being out there calling Spartans game. I love this game, and I love being at the rink. So much fun being involved with this team. Here's that call right here, and we'll come back and wrap things up.
In the offensive zone, Ignatov along the wall, moves the puck. Parker's got a great opportunity right here. Parker takes the shot, and it deflects into the net. Spartans win! The Spartans win!
Nashville Spartans split this weekend series with the Atlanta Mad Hatters. More Spartans action coming up soon. I'll bring you highlights. I'll continue to bring you clips right here and continue to raise awareness of the Nashville Spartans. Love what they are doing. Love what they are putting together. They have really brought in some incredible people around the organization to help grow that in every way, shape, and form. Just the second weekend of games out there at the Gary Force Acura Ice Arena. A lot of people coming out to check it out. I'm sure to appreciate every one of them. Let's close the show out by using this word: opportunity. The Nashville Predators right now have a record of 6-8-1. They have four more home games coming up: Minnesota, New York, Tampa Bay, and Arizona. They could find themselves over 500 by the end of this homestand. They also only have a one-game road trip before coming back home. There are some tough opponents on the schedule coming up, but if the Nashville Predators are starting to turn a corner, this is the time we will start to see it. That's a big victory over the New York Rangers. Yes, the New York Rangers have been a little bit hit and miss, Jekyll and Hyde, in these recent weeks of hockey, but they're a very good hockey team that went to the Eastern Conference Final just a season ago. The New York Islanders will be coming in. Tampa Bay will be coming in. Arizona will be coming in. Minnesota is a good hockey team. They're all good hockey teams. It's the National Hockey League, after all. What the Nashville Predators have in front of them, though, is an opportunity. What the players on the Nashville Predators have in front of them is an opportunity. The crowd will be fired up. They will be ready. They will be there in attendance. The weather now frigid here in Middle Tennessee. Temperatures down in the 30s. Hockey weather is truly fully engaged, and we usually start to see a lot more of the fan base start to engage right around Thanksgiving. For the Nashville Predators, 15 games into the season, nothing about it has been impressive. If they start to turn the corner now, they could be at the 20-game mark at 500 or better, and then can continue working from there. For each and every one of the Renegades of Puck, I sure do appreciate all of you for checking out the show. It was tough being out of the bunker, but it sure was fun attending some other hockey games and doing some other work down there in Savannah for a couple of days. Appreciate your patience. Appreciate each and every one of you for jumping back in the trenches. We're back full speed ahead now. Each and every game looks like for the rest of the season. I'll let you know if there's any schedule changes, but not anticipating any of it. Appreciate each and every one of you. Stick taps, love, and respect. We'll be back soon with Nashville Predators and hockey coverage right here from the bunker. You've been listening to the Renegades of Puck.